and welcome back to another She's the Boss. And today I'm joined by the owner of Cup and String Communications, Karen Blanchette. Karen, thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, hello, Daniela.
I'd like to start with you telling us a little bit about Cup and String and how you came to be the owner of the organisation.
Yeah, so Cup and String Communications came about through what I've done for most of my life, to be honest with you. I've been in PR and communications for probably about 15 years now, so it's something I've done for a long time. And about 2 years ago, I decided that I'd kind of go it alone and set up my own company, so that's what I did.
Why?
Oh yeah. Why? Because I thought to myself, I've been working for other people for a long time, and it's time to do something different, something for me. Also, I wanted to do things outside of the outside of Cup and String. There were some things I'd like to pursue myself, which I thought I could probably monetize. So I thought I could bring that under that umbrella as well.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of the process of starting, did you just quit your job and start the business straight away, or did you ease yourself into it? What was that process?
It was a bit of strange actually. What happened was I worked for an employee, and they, after that I worked for somebody else. They gave me a call and said, look, we've got a big job on. We'd really like you to do this job, but you could probably only do it if you work for yourself, because at that point I wasn't. And I always wanted to work for myself anyway, so it was a good kind of match, really. I thought, oh, this works well. So that's how it came about, through working for somebody else initially. But after that contract finished, which was 1.5 years, I then went out and found my own clients, which was tricky, I will say, because it was a bit like, okay, where do I start? So I went networking, I started speaking to people online, just kind of finding out what people wanted, trying to be helpful, and I managed to get clients that way, and then recommendations.
So how long was the process of you kind of finishing the original contract and getting your first client that was separate to that contract, or was it something you did concurrently?
Yeah, it was, I finished the contract around, I think it was probably just before Christmas, and it was around January, like mid-January, when I got my first client. So there was a bit of time there, but 1st of Jan, pretty much I was just out networking. It was a bit of a baptism of fire, to be honest with you, but it was good to do, thinking back.
What, were you not scared?
I was so frightened. I was like, oh my God, what do I say? Who am I? You know, all of those things. But because it was an event, it was organised by the Chamber of Commerce, and it was almost like a speed dating event, but it was like lots of different businesses. So you literally had, I think, about 5 minutes, and then you had to move on and on. But you found that your confidence started to kind of come more so as you went on and spoke to different people about what you did. It just kind of made more sense then. But it was scary, definitely.
And did you have much support when you first started? Like, were your family and friends supportive of you starting a business? I've spoken to a few people that have said without their family they couldn't have done it, and other people to say that actually their family was their biggest detractor. Which side of that coin?
I think, like, my mum still just thinks, just go and work for someone. Do you know what I mean? Because I think she's very much about stability and stuff. So I get that. I know where it's coming from. It's not coming from a bad place. So that's cool. Friends were like, yeah, go for it, Karen. You can do it. You can do it. I thought, it's not you. Do you know what I mean? It's easy to say with somebody else, isn't it? But yeah, they've been supportive, really. But I still feel like it's all on me. Probably because, like, I'm the person in the company, like, I will go out and I'll be a consultant for people and I'll deliver as well. So it's all about me, really. So I do feel like it is kind of all on me. So in that respect, I'm probably my worst enemy, I guess.
Mm-hmm. What, if any, business areas did you feel that you didn't necessarily have before starting a business, and how have you kind of countered that?
Yeah, I think the kind of looking after the financials, which probably sounds strange. I mean, I've always been in the black, you know, never been in debt, but I hadn't had a real structure. I hadn't had that. And I knew I had to make a certain amount of money in terms of my outgoings to make a profit. I got that. But kind of having it in some kind of order was a bit like, Oh no. So I got myself an accountant because I thought, let me just take that headache away because I don't want that in my head. And then I got an account, a business account, which had free agents as well. And that's been really helpful as another way of kind of invoicing people and using it as a tool. So those weaker areas I've got better on, definitely. But that was a part that I wasn't that confident on. I can do what I do. I can deliver your PR and comms and help to raise your profile as a business, get more people to notice you, know who you are, buy your products, your services. That bit was fine, but it was the other bits that I was a bit like, you know.
And have you found that you've really have improved in some of those areas as you've gone along?
Yeah, definitely. I think you kind of have to, really, because if it's just you just have to kind of do it. And even if you think, oh God, you know, this is just another thing to do, it's just another important part of the business. And as it's probably not as kind of sexy as the other stuff, but it has to be done because you've got to have your finances in order, basically. So that's something I've definitely improved on. And when I speak to my accountant, he's a bit more like, oh, okay, you've been doing some reading. I'm like, I have. So yeah, it's definitely an area that I'm better on. I'd still say that I'm more passionate about the doing stuff, but then I guess most people are with what they're doing, do you know what I mean? But it has to be done.
And you said originally that you'd always wanted to work for yourself. Did you have any people around you that were self-employed that inspired you? Where did that drive and desire to work for yourself come from?
Yeah, do you know what? I didn't have a lot of people that were self-employed. A lot of people that I knew, family, friends. I mean, I'd still say the majority of family and friends are in jobs, really, like paid 9-to-5 jobs. So it was probably, funnily enough, like it was like an ex-boyfriend who he'd always worked for himself. And I must admit, when I saw him doing it, I did have like rose tinted glasses and thought, oh, you can get up when you want and you can do this. Do you know what I mean? But I didn't see the rest of it as working nights or God knows what hours. But, you know, and he always said, I think you could do it. You're organised. You're someone that kind of gets things done. I think you could do it. And I was like, do you think so? But then I liked the freedom, but I liked the fact that there was other things that potentially I could do as well. So, you know, if you have like your own business, you're more likely to have another one or look for other things. And I don't think you do that if you're in a 9-to-5. You don't think like that. I know I didn't, definitely.
Well, you kind of touched upon one thing, but are there any other benefits that you feel you've gained from being self-employed as opposed to being in employment? Like, what is the greatest feeling of being self-employed that you just never ever considered or experienced whilst working for someone?
Do you know what? This might sound a bit strange, but I think I'm probably more confident now I'm self-employed because, you know what, there's things in your business or even outside your business you just got to do, and you might not want to do them, but you absolutely have to do them. Whereas sometimes when you're in a job, it's quite, it's a little bit different really, because you might have a remit and that's it, but you know, in your business, there is no remit in a sense. It can be as big as you want it to be. And I think also I've had to look at different areas of my business as well. And I've also been recommended to other people to do things that I haven't necessarily done before. And they said, oh, you could do that. I know you can do it. I've got the confidence in you. I'm like, oh, okay, let me do it then. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just like, right. So I've learned new things and kind of new ways of working, which probably wouldn't have access to if I'd have done 9-to-5. And I think that does bring about a bit more confidence, really.
What up to this point do you think has been the hardest thing about being self-employed?
I'd say the hardest thing is the emotional part, which maybe people don't think about necessarily, but I was just like, some things really affect you and you think, oh, I didn't think I'd be that bothered about that, but they do. And I don't know if it's because it's me delivering the service and I think a lot of this is on me, I don't know, but it's a lot more emotional. Like, your highs can be so high, but then when you come down, you have some rough patches, you're like, oh my God. And you forget how it can fluctuate. So it's been a lot more emotional than I thought it would be, definitely.
And how have you counterbalanced that? Because I know how emotional it can be. And something I've always struggled with is not staying down too long. So allowing yourself to experience the sadness or the upset or whatever it is, but trying to bounce back as quick as possible. And setting a date, like, okay, so today I'm going to be depressed and lie on the floor, but tomorrow I'm going to get back to life. What is your approach?
Yeah, it's a similar thing in that I think you do have to give yourself a bit of time, and then you just have to say no. I mean, I talk to myself all the time. I will confess I don't care, and I will literally say, "Come on, Karen." I will literally do that, and I'll be like, "No, no more now." Do you know what I mean? Or I'll even sometimes put on some music or read a book or something to just distract me from it, and it kind of, sometimes you get inspired by reading stories and things like that. So it's kind of, I guess it's just a mechanism really, like a coping mechanism. But I do think you should allow yourself a bit of time to feel a little bit sorry for yourself and just kind of reassess things and think, oh, okay. And then, you know, dust off and like, right, better get on with it, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And in contrast, what has been the highest point of running your business so far?
Oh gosh, highest point, wow. Do you know what? I think the customer satisfaction has been really good. Like when you get people say, oh God, you've just explained this as I've been thinking about it, you know, that's what I'm talking about, that's what I mean. And you know, you see it on their face when they're trying to communicate something or a message in their business, and they just don't quite get it right. And it's funny because they talk to you, and the way they talk to you, I'm thinking, you're saying that, but you mean this, don't you? And then when I do it, they're like, how did you know? And I don't know what that is. I don't know what it is, but I can tell what people kind of really want, even though they're not necessarily saying it. Then we think about how we turn that around to make sense for them, really. So I like doing that, and I like also kind of receiving that feedback when you really think you've actually helped someone, and you can tell by the words and just in their face that they're really grateful and they think, yeah, I've cracked it now. It's just a nice feeling.
What are the kind of future goals that you have for the business? You see the business in 5 years, and you start.
Wow. Yeah, so 5 years I've seen the business. It's funny actually, I was thinking about this the other day, and I was thinking, would I grow it and sell it, or I'm not sure. I wasn't sure actually. I think I want some different parts to it, so it won't just be cup and string PR and comms. I think I'm gonna look at getting a few more areas. Like I'd like to get into doing like voiceovers and stuff like that. So I've got some areas I'm thinking could tag on to umbrella under cup and string communications. So that's definitely one area. I think as a person, 5 years time, I'd like to have a product, not necessarily a product from my business at the moment, but potentially something quite different, because I quite like challenges of different things, and I'm looking into a few kind of different areas at the moment. There's something that Amazon's running at the moment, which is a bit of like, I think it's called like a fulfillment package, where you have a product and then they kind of do all the rest for you in terms of delivery and whatnot. And I quite like the idea of that. I quite like the idea of a product as well as my service. So yeah.
Going to a completely different kind of subject.
Okay.
Being a woman in business. Positive, negative, neutral.
Oh, as an experience, is it positive, negative, or not? I think it's positive, and I tell you why. Because I think that there's something about working with other women. If I've always put the caveat in, if they're your kind of women. Not every woman's my kind of woman, but yeah, if they're your kind of woman and they've got a similar mindset and stuff, honestly, it's the best. I don't care what anyone says, it really is. And you can just work with them and they get it and they get things done. Women just get things done as far as I'm concerned. But I do think that with that, you know, sometimes maybe it gets too closed. I think you can't rule men out of the equation. It's just not possible. But I do think that women in business is a positive thing. I think we've got a lot to bring to the table, and not just, you know, the emotional stuff that everybody says. There's a lot of kind of intelligent, the acumen that women have got that they bring from other areas. I just think it's very much a positive thing, definitely.
What about you as a woman in business specifically? What has been your experience as a woman in business? Has being a woman made any difference to your entrepreneurial journey, in your opinion? That's probably a better way to word the question.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think anything kind of, I think the way you are as a person, your gender, the way you're made up, definitely has something to do with where you are in the world. You know what I mean? Definitely. I think, I think maybe it's, I don't know whether it's a female thing, but I'm very intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
So, and my emotional intelligence, I think, yeah, it's up there. So for me, those things have been they've been crucial in business, because I have almost been able to sense and feel certain things. And I'm like, this doesn't feel right and whatnot. And I think if those are typical female traits, then absolutely it's helped me being a woman like that, because there are definitely areas and conversations I've had, and I'm thinking, where is this? I'm asking another question and another question, and I can almost feel people feel a slightly uneasy, but I think I need to ask these questions because something's niggling me, type of thing. So for me, that kind of stuff is imperative, really.
Mm-hmm. Who, if anyone, do you see as your biggest kind of entrepreneurial role model or inspiration, and why?
There's a few, actually. I really like the stuff that Black Ballad's doing at the moment, like really good. I love this lady. Let me just pick this up here. Oh, this woman, she's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just tell anyone that's in creative industries, or even women generally, you must get this book. Really good book. Sorry to plug,
Oh, no.
but it is. It's a great book, honestly, and she's great. She just kind of breaks things down. I suppose on a real global level, then someone like Oprah is. I love Oprah. That story is so powerful. Her story, and I just think it just makes it does make you think that kind of where there's a will, there's a way. You know, that woman, she went through it all, and she's just humble as well. Do you know what I mean? And I love that. I just think she could be the biggest kind of man hater, world hater, given what she's been through. But she's just kind of like, I like her, the way she thinks about things and the way she kind of flips things around. It just, different mindset just makes such a difference.
Mm-hmm. What do you, let's go fast forward 15, 20 years from now,
Yeah.
and somebody's looking up to you as a role model.
Yeah.
What do you want them to be looking at?
What do I want them
Aspire to be? Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you were looking at me as a younger person, I think what I'd like them to think is that it really is okay to be yourself. And sometimes it's hard to do that. You know, I've got quite a loud laugh and stuff, and I'm like, oh, but sometimes for years I used to be like, oh gosh, you know, thinking maybe I shouldn't do that. But I'm just like, do you know what? This is me, actually. It's part of who I am. And I think if you can know who you are and have that confidence, that to me, if someone could look up to me and say, she looks like she knows who she is. She looks like she's walking her walk. Do you know what I mean? That's good enough for me, because I think if you can make somebody else feel that way, I'm there. I've done my job.
Beautiful. Speaking to those women that are going to be looking up to you, 3 pieces of advice that you would give to a young lady who wants to start a business, feeling nervous about doing it, doesn't feel that they have the skills or the knowledge to do so. What advice would you give them?
Yeah, I'd probably say I'd say getting stuff done is better than kind of crafting something to perfection. So even if you just start something, that's probably, it's gonna kind of, it will help you to get on. If you don't even start something and put it out there, then it's almost as if it doesn't exist, really. So get something started, even if it's not your best work. Everyone needs time to grow, so get stuff done and get it out there. That would be my first thing to say. Second thing to say is, I'd say you definitely need to get your head around business and understand it. You know, there's parts of it that aren't as glamorous or whatever, but get your head into it. You know, if you're an intelligent person, you'll get it, you'll understand it, but it does take time. But definitely get your business structure and whatnot sorted out. That has to be done. I'd say the third thing is, you know, understand people in the sense of being human. You know, I think we can all sometimes forget that people are just human beings and you just need to relate to them like that. You know, I've been in certain situations and people are just consumed with business talk, and sometimes I think I don't even know what he just said because it's so like acronym, you know, heavy and all the rest of it. And I think sometimes if you just step to somebody as a human being, it absolutely pays dividends. So just remember that, you know, people are people, really.
Mm-hmm. And if people want to find out more about you and your business, where can they go?
Yep, so on Twitter I'm Cup and String, so CUPNSTRING. That's me on Twitter. And then on LinkedIn I'm Karen Blanchette, so you can find me out there. And if you want to get to my website and have a look at the kind of things I do, then it's www.cupandstring.co.uk.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing all of the wonderfulness that is you. Really appreciated talking to you today. And for those of you who are watching, please click like if you enjoyed that. If anything that Karen said resonated with you, please make sure that you write a comment. If you want to get involved in She's the Boss, please drop me an email at hello@genusec.com. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel so that you can be alerted as soon as I put out new videos. Thanks for watching.